Hello, everybody. This is Matt from Shadow Moses 112 here with you on this beautiful Sunday evening. Yeah, it's Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, what you doing with that hat on, bud? I'm a co-designer of our products and the producer for our digital existence in the YouTube spheres. And I'm here with Pete.
Hello, everybody. Pete, creator, owner, ShadowMoses112.com.
Don't act so enthusiastic. Okay. We see that smug look.
It's part of my personality.
So, before I forget, I know that we've talked about the Mythic Legions line in the past. Today is the last day to pre-order the new wave that's coming out today, November 14th at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I know this because they love to send emails. They send emails every day.
Do they really? I never had an account with them because normally I just go through Big Bad Toy Store, but I was like, I'm not paying the price hike. I'm just going to go through them this time because I want that bear. I actually have it up to share the figure, present. How do we do this?
I think I created an account because I was trying to do a vote for their legacy line or something. Like they were re-release and they always take like fan votes of what they want. And I really want Balam, which is like I think I mentioned in the past, he's like a Khajiit looking character from Skyrim.
That's honestly one of the reasons that I like these figures is because it does give me Skyrim vibes, and that's kind of what this doesn't really give you Skyrim vibes, but I wanted it because it still managed to give me some kind of Nordic thing. Obviously, its name is Bjordvar, so if you can't get the Nordic out of that, then I'm sorry for you, buddy. But today at 11 p.m. is the last day to pre-order this. You just go to storehorseman.com, store-horseman, horsemen. Oh, that's not right. There's quite a few figures in the wave, but you could just get them all. They do charge you up front, just to be sure you know about that. But it's a whole slew of figures. I mean, we could see them all here. What?
Nothing. I was just thinking, like, man, I almost choked on my spit looking at that price, but then I was like, I just paid $450 for the Fantastic Four set, so maybe I should shut up.
I mean, to be fair, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 figures, 2 animals on top of that, 2 weapon accessory kits, and then this little guy's head. For $550, that's really not that bad of a price.
Yeah, I agree.
And one of the things that Mythic Legions is great about is maintaining scale within their line. They typically are a little bit larger. They're more of a I don't have one handy. They're more of a like 7-inch scale, would you say?
Right.
But like dwarves are going to be like a 4.5-inch figure. This is going to be probably a 9-inch figure. He's in scale with their orcs. It might be ogre scale, but he's like a 9-inch figure. The same with that alien guy with the 4 arms. He's one of the larger figures. So like this guy on his own is $60. The bear on its own is $85. So I think that excuse me, I think that there is a bit of a discount if you throw all of these in rather than getting them all individually, and then you get the bonus dwarf head. But today's the last day to pre-order those. Otherwise, you're going to have to go through Big Bad Toy Store or something, which is a fine retailer, but there's going to be a price markup on them.
Ooh, dying over there. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get that last bit of it up. I was dying earlier in the week. Okay. I mean, after last Sunday, it only got worse. The next day, I had that fever 102, and then that slowly calmed down, and then, yeah, it just sucked. But I did manage to get my pile of loot this week, which was pretty cool. Got some cool oddball stuff. I got the Chester figure. You don't care about them, but I got this little third-party transformer. This is from Iron Factory, and it's basically like a 2-inch scale figure. I'm not going to go crack the whole thing open, but Iron Factory, New Age, Dr. Wu. They all make these really detailed small Transformers figures, and like they have all these crazy little moving parts and like additional hinges that are just kind of really fun to play around with. So I like them. I get them here and there. I also received my Fantastic Four set. I did not open it yet because I don't have space to really do all that. And I don't know if I really want to. I think I might just put it straight to storage. I'm not sure. It's a lot. It's a lot, dude. You didn't put it on. You didn't put it on camera. Shut up. But for anyone who didn't know it, it's a big box. Tin. It's a big ass tin. Like I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting it to be this big.
Yeah.
And it's just. I'm already taking a trip to my storage unit, so I'm either going to put other stuff in there and leave this here, or I will just drop this off down there. I might just put some other stuff like his tank and the Gomez mech in storage, but we'll see.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, maybe you should share the address of your, like, storage unit so that way people can actually steal your toys and play with them.
No.
Yes. I feel bad for your Mezcos.
A lot of them are here, actually, in boxes. I'm looking at them. I also got my 3.0 DLX. What is this? The Mark 42, 52, or something. I don't know. I buy these things.
I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
It's the Mark 52. I also got a figure from one of my movies of the year. My who is this? SH Monster Arts Godzilla -1 figure, which I was pretty excited about because I love the movie. Apparently, they're going to do a re-release of it in black and white, which I'm pretty interested in seeing, actually, because it's a great movie.
Okay.
I don't know when the hell it's going to come to Blu-ray and DVD. Last thing I got was my Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Thought it was Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla too, but it's a 5-point set, also from Mezco, actually.
Oh, nice.
What?
I said, oh, nice.
Yes, boo, yes. And then I got 2 G.I. Joe things. One is the Mutt, and then one is Nunchuck.
I have not opened Junkyard yet.
No?
No. I got Mud out, but I don't have Junkyard out.
I have them. Wait, isn't that the set, Junkyard and Mutt?
Yeah. He's just in the box. I took out one, but I didn't take out the other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're both in the box over there. I'm getting all my G.I. Joes all sequentially arranged because I'm a psychopath like that. It's just cool to see the numbers. I've said that before.
Yeah.
But speaking of psychotic, what's up with these price hikes, man?
Let's talk about price hikes real quick.
Let's talk about price hikes really
McFarlane.
fast.
Todd father, Toddalicious, Todd daddy.
Oh,
what are you doing? What are you doing, Dad? Trying to price hike? Try to charge double for your figures? What are you doing there, bud? Let's talk
Gold
about
label. More like bold label. So I was looking around online and I saw something like discussing like the original. Good evening, Bogart. Like I guess with the original release of the figures, he was just doing like the $20 price point, and I think that they've still stuck to about that price point. And I read that he was doing that with the intention of eating the extra cost and just putting out figures that people would buy and everything, and just kind of making do with it. And it's kind of weird and I know that countless people have already been talking about this, but it's kind of curious to see what this price hike for this gold label line means for the future of his figures, as well as how it's going to impact other like standard box store.
Right. I know we were talking about earlier that the gold label is typically a higher price point. I think the confusion comes from a lot of retooling in these figures and a lack of accessories. I think I heard another argument saying that the Kid Flash was a little disappointing because he's about the same scale as everybody else, and they want more of a child size. And then the fact that it only comes with 2 hands and a Build-A-Figure piece. So the question is the price worth it for that figure? I also saw some other points point out saying that like the Spectre figure and the Psycho Pirate specifically are figures that collectors of DC, I know we're more Marvel folks, but those are like must-haves for them, so they probably will more than likely spend for that price point to have that figure in their collection. My thing with the McFarlane line and my experience with it is my father actually bought some for my son. So we have the Wave 1 Superman and Batman, and I was looking at these figures, and although the bodies are okay, the sculpts aren't there 100%.
This is the only one I have. I bought it for scaling purposes. It's
okay.
not a bad figure, but
right.
it has a lot of weird choices.
Yeah.
Like this wrist joint is what? It's just a little stupid hinge in there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a hinge in there, and then it's 2 ball joints on the other end, and then this ankle joint. Like what is this thing?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's always also talking about how like the pelvic area kind of looks like a diaper at all times.
Oh yeah, no, like it's 100% diaper. When I was trying to get him to sit, like they have that, so the hip joints aren't that bad. It's not a bad setup, but this giant rubbery soft plastic up here in this general area to kind of try and conceal it, it ends up just hurting the ability of the figure to do anything other than go, like you're a nun from Silent Hill and Pyramid Man is just coming to do all sorts of wrong to you.
Yeah. I think my experience with the McFarlane line specifically as of late has been like the Mortal Kombat figures and then grabbing the Spawn Kickstarter when that came out. I was a little disappointed with the Spawn Kickstarter only because the torso was 100% statuesque. And it was in a pre-done pose, kind of like at a tilt. So to me, that was not the figure I hoped, but I'm glad that the Kickstarter was able to fund his line back together to be able to do more stuff like that. So I was more after the fact of supporting his greater cause rather than the figures that were coming out. And
now that greater cause has come to a greater form of evil.
Right.
Came right back to bite you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've seen multiple arguments about the whole Build-A-Figure concept. Okay. When I was looking into this, a website that I went to was Arody, ARODIE.com, and they've talked a lot about a lot of different nerd stuff. NFTs are one of the things, but they also go over like figures and whatnot. God, excuse me. But one of the points that they make was the Batman and Robin movie. Those Build-A-Figures are, yep. I don't know how much of a delay there is between when the message goes into the chat versus when we see it. But yeah, you're right on. Neither of us are huge into the whole DC line, but it's not helping me get into it at all. It'd really have to be a special figure for me to consider it with the way that this price hike goes. As I was saying, the Batman and Robin figures, they're available on Entertainment Earth for $100. Well, they're sold out. But
I was gonna say Mafex is crushing it also, man. Like Mafex, you can't go wrong. You're getting these like comic accurate figures, tons of accessories, and if you get them import price, they're like $65. You get them from Big Bad, I think they mark them up the shipping costs that you would pay otherwise. So,
yeah, I mean, usually we mentioned it before. Ami is a really good resource. I can't always find what I'm looking for on there because it's either not posted and then I'll miss it, or it's posted before I expect it to be, and then I miss it. But
Yeah.
I have definitely been like I just got my Mafex Rescue figure from Avengers Endgame from them, and uh, it's curious to see how maybe McFarlane holds his line against something like Mafex or Figure Arts. Like, does he realize that it's not in the same realm as he further encroaches upon that price? And it also depends on licensing because I forget exactly what line it was, but you you buy into a license and you basically have domain at a certain price point and on. So like Black Labels, Hasbro's able to keep doing what it's doing without any worry about like Hot Toys coming in and putting out a $30 action figure because Hasbro has that price range. And McFarlane isn't putting anything out that's worth $40 as far as I'm concerned. Even when you go through his toy store, and maybe this is an initiative to try and get people to shop from their store directly.
Yeah.
But if you go to his store and then you buy them all as a set, and one of the figures you can't get on its own anymore anyway because it's sold out. But if you buy them as a set, it ends up being like $33 a figure with the discount because it's normally like $169, and then it goes down to then it goes down to like a more acceptable price. But even then, like I don't think this figure's worth $30.
Right.
But if this actually ends up being successful, are we going to see Hasbro jacking up their prices even more? And
that's a scary thing to talk about, man. Bogart had mentioned price hikes will make me reconsider future purposes. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to just touch on that and then like move on because that was exactly my next point. Is if I already don't collect Legends, I basically only get random things and GI Joes from Hasbro. But if suddenly GI Joes are going to be like a standard of $30, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm out because I'm not that into it. I like it. That's more of my hoarding and compulsion to have like all these figures because they're cool. I don't need them. I already buy too much other shit. So like if something decides to welcome itself out of my collection, I'm kind of fine with that.
Well, I was gonna say comparatively, if you look at like the anniversary figures that G.I. Joe just put out, they are loaded with accessories, and they're at that price point of what, $30-$40. So at that point, if they continued that, would you still be interested in the line?
I feel like that's an exception because, and we pulled them up before, but those figures do have more than just your standard GI Joe. Like,
yeah, we were taking a look at it. They had like 2 head sculpts. I think another 6 additional hands, weapons.
I hit my the Fantastic Four box with my toes.
Nice.
It hurt. So this is a $25 figure.
Right.
It's the figure. He has 2 nunchucks, a knife, these machetes, sword things, and then it looks like some kind of claw. And that's $25 figure. It's not a whole lot. It's not bad offering, but it could probably be better.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't pay $30 for that.
So I think if it was a core character, I would consider the $30 price point. But if it's like one of those B tier or characters that you really don't,
like this is the B tier. Unless it's Ice Cream Soldier, I'm not going out of my way to spend that much money on him.
Or how about army builders? Would you pay that much for an army builder if it was loaded with accessories?
If it has to be loaded with accessories. Right. It has to be loaded with accessories to the point where that army builder can be set up so that you suddenly have your own character that you're invested in. It has to be that kind of thing. Like it has to be that NPC that you're trying to keep alive the entire game because you just like him that much. Because you're like, I've outfitted him with all this shit. Like it's what's her face in Fallout New Vegas. It's Cassie or whatever the hell her name is. Like, no, Cassie can't die, or it's dog meat. Like it has to be able to be customized to the point where it becomes special to you for it to really be worth that price point. If it's just this guy,
it's just wild. Like 3-4 years ago, we were paying $19.99, And
If it's just this guy with a
now we're
bunch
talking about
of
$40 figures.
with a bunch of extra stuff, it also depends what the extra stuff is. Because if it's this guy with an extra head sculpt, some extra hands, and maybe some other gear, I don't necessarily need all that other stuff because then I have. If you end up army building, then you have 15 extra heads and all this extra other loose shit, which can be cool if it's the right stuff to help build out like a backdrop or a diorama or something like that. But otherwise, it's just clutter that you don't need. Like if they decide to throw an extra 2 handguns in every figure, I don't need 50 extra handguns. Like
Right.
it's I don't know. There's a way that they could do it, and their marketing team would spend obviously more than 2 minutes to think about how the best way to execute that, because they would probably have some figures work in this direction and other ones that work in this way, so that you still get a complete assembly of different options and accessories, and they kind of complement each other. But if they're
We
just
might
gonna throw
we
extra
also
shit
might
in
be
there,
jumping the gun here. Like they might just be doing this for this one line of gold label on their store because I think it's specific to the McFarlane store, and the price point hasn't changed. But the conversations there, like this is if they were to invest, if us the consumer were to buy this, would that reflect across all the board to raise these prices up because they can?
that's my well. I mean, yeah, I know that I'm jumping a gun,
No,
but
I'm saying I think we're all talking about it because we're just worried about what the result could be.
yeah, I mean, as I was looking into it, I was kind of like, oh, okay, so it's kind of for this exclusive wave, and that's through their store and everything like that. But still, if those prices are going to trickle down, and then they see this campaign was successful for these
Right.
figures that I don't really care about, and an ugly Superman, and then Kid Flash, and then Psycho Pirate, who I didn't know about until Batman Rebirth, and then apparently he was created in 1944 because he's had so many prestigious movies and other appearances and shows as a main villain of Batman's. It's if this wave managed to be successful in that, then it's kind of crazy. I feel like there's like Kid Flash, Psycho Pirate, that other character. I don't even know who the hell it was.
Spectre, I believe, the gray and green one.
Yeah, the Spectre, Divine Wrath Embodied, or Divine Wrath. I don't know. I don't know who that is. If that, but like, and maybe it's because I'm not a DC, not a
Right.
huge DC guy, but uh, I don't see anything in there that makes that worth it. If I feel like, well, Batman and Robin was a terrible movie, but I feel like that line, if that was an exclusive line, that would make more sense to have at that $40 price point. But I'm also curious about the timeline in which these figures were actually made.
Mm-hmm.
So was the Batman and Robin line, was that created in 2022 or early 2023? Versus is this line that's being pre-ordered, was that created in later 2023 after we saw different quarters performances maybe impact the decisions on price points and everything like that to the measure that it actually had an impact on upcoming release. Like if these figures had come out at a different time, would they still be more expensive, or is this line just the first one that's being hit by some corporate decision that they need to make some changes in their, like, maybe exclusive releases?
Right.
I don't know. Like, is this just the first of that series of figures that's going to be exclusive in them and just at a higher price point in general? I think that this is a curious line, a curious wave that got hit by those increases, because there's nothing special in there. And I also don't think that having a build a figure warrants making the figure more expensive in general.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. I'm just curious, and I'm this is my ignorance showing. I don't know what the range of reuse is from buck to buck. So are they using the same body for Superman as they are for Batman? Did they reuse that for this line? Is the Spectre using that same body? Because if that's the case, then the problem is very evident that it's coming, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looks like they are unique torsos. It look like, just looking at the torsos, it looks like they are unique. Like, yeah, there are like Spectre has like more side muscles, and like Superman is much of more of a straight body. Like there's musculature there, but it's not as built out. And then even Kid Flash's torso it's more unique than like the other two.
Well, how do you feel about McFarlane re-releasing like the new Batman Adventures figures? So you're getting like the Batgirl, the
Where
animated Batman,
yeah,
Killer Croc.
was that the one with the build? Wait, is that the one with the Build-A-Figure?
Let me check. Right now, I'm looking at it. It says it's going to feature Batman, Batgirl, Two-Face, a Killer Croc, and Baby Doll 2-pack. So no,
This is
I don't think
not. I'm not thinking that. I'm not sure what line that is actually. I know
I
that
think
they're doing.
I think it's a re-release of a previous one under the McFarlane banner, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one because I know that they're doing one that has like Gordon and stuff in it,
Okay.
and that's another Build-A-Figure.
I just sent you a link just in case you wanted to share that.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, you're right. It's an ugly Superman. I don't. How do you do that? And then the Kid Flash being the same height. I don't know. I'm a big. So I really like the Mafex Hush line that they're doing.
Oh, I didn't look at what you sent me. It didn't pull it up.
Sorry. If you go home, it's like the third link down. Yeah, third link down. That one. Perfect.
Oh, okay.
They look great. They look great, but I don't think that's a McFarlane in-house. I think it's a re-release. McFarlane Toys continues the animated line figures, extends DC collectible series. But those look great. I wonder what the price point will those be. I mean,
yeah, I'm curious because they do look really. They really capture the feel of the animated show, like 100%.
Yeah.
Which means they're going to be crappy action figures. Look at his legs, dude.
Oh yeah. Are those the ones that like hinge out and then hinge
Yes.
to the side?
That's like an old school. That's like my Baird from Gears of War. That's exactly what his legs are.
Yeah. You showed that last week, right?
The stupid front hinges so that they hinge out this way, and then a swivel like that. It's not a bad system, but it's not a good looking one.
Right.
That's for sure. But I mean, aside from that, they look good. If you're into the original show, like, yeah, I feel like that's going to be hard to pass on, especially Batman and Two-Face, especially Batman and Two-Face. I don't like her face at all, but she looks like Harley Quinn. She looks psychotic.
Yeah, I think she pretty much looked like that in the show, though, if I remember right.
I mean, it's probably accurate. I'd pass on that one. It looks really good. I am curious to see what the price point is because that should be a $20 figure.
True, especially since it's a re-release for the most part.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
So what predictions do you have for 2024?
And what?
Oh, and anything. Like, what do you think that the lines are going to be releasing? Who do you think we'll be seeing this year?
I'm predicting that there's going to be at least one more HasLab for a G.I. Joe vehicle.
Okay.
I feel that they've been so successful with those. I don't know what it would be, but I feel that we'll see a HasLab for a G.I. Joe vehicle. I'm also curious to see, with supposedly only Deadpool's coming out this year, I'm curious what Marvel figures they're going to be pushing. I don't know if they're going to do like some kind of anniversary set,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean? I guess it really also depends on what that movie does, because that could be a unique opportunity then for Hasbro to do like some kind of 2-pack crossover set. So like if they have Marvel and X-Men actually come into the same universe
Yeah.
through that movie, we could. And I honestly, I don't think they would do it because I think it would be way too much of a marketing risk. But it would be kind of cool to see like an X-Men versus Marvel, or X-Men versus Avengers kind of concept going on. I was thinking about Hasbro versus Capcom earlier, so that's why that immediately jumps out of my head. But it would be kind of interesting to see, maybe they do like Iron Man and Professor X 2-pack or something, or I don't know. It's really kind of gutty to do that, especially because we don't have all those figures in the MCU yet. So it would
Mhm.
probably be like a risky hybrid of MCU versus classic appearances, and the same for X-Men.
I think
But
I think we're heading towards the golden age of vehicles this year. So I
yeah,
know last year we saw Mezco announce their vehicle. That was similar to the Valaverse vehicle. I think
yes.
Hasbro will be dropping something very similar, in my opinion.
Well,
I
they
think
already announced the Vamp. That comes out in March.
there it is.
I'm getting 2 of them. They're only $100.
And then they're
They look
going to stores.
awesome. What?
Oh no, I think I ordered the Vamp also, right?
Bane with the cloth coat. Is that McFarlane?
Yeah, that is a McFarlane figure. He's from the movie version, I think.
I didn't like that movie, so I'm not going to have many good thoughts.
I don't know, man. I'm a comic fan, so I love everything that comes out. But yeah, the Walmart Bane. It was a gold label DC Bane figure, if I remember right, and it was he comes with the brown coat with the fur lining on the inside. I'll be honest, I didn't like that version of Bane. I think the voice killed it for me. But I do remember being the only person clapping in the movie theater when Bane lifted it up and broke his back. I was like, yes,
You're such a tool.
the only person. I'm sure everybody's looking at me like, look at this nut over here.
I'm going to pull him up.
I did pre-order the Mafex Bane, the Bane coming out.
Actually, that figure looks pretty cool. I won't lie.
I have my own custom that I did on a Storm Collectibles body. I'm interested to see if this is going to replace that figure.
It's definitely like a cheaper soft goods package, but
I'm just glad to see soft goods where it's needed. So like this won't hinder articulation. And that's a smart move.
yeah. Yeah, this figure doesn't look bad, actually. But how much was it? That's the...
I think it's on the Walmart site. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It's not priced on there. It's just showing. Yeah. Oh
Yeah, it's
God.
just...
Oh God.
Well, that's aftermarket. That's
yeah.
aftermarket. Because
Holy
Walmart and stores now do this stupid thing where where they're third-party sellers because they have to rival.
How'd you know I saw the price?
Yeah, well, because when I was googling it, I saw one on eBay for like $60. I was like, yeah, no.
No, this is 108 on Walmart. Holy cow!
That's aftermarket.
Wow.
I'm guessing this was probably $40. And honestly, if you're into it, and this is a gold label, I don't know if this is one of the bigger figures. God, I still can't speak. It's actually not bad. Like I wouldn't pick it up because I don't like the movie. Not huge into DC, but that's not a bad looking figure actually. The soft goods look pretty cool on it. I think that actually really helps the figure, in my opinion. Kind of curious if they show him without the jacket.
Other than that, there wasn't a lot of news from drops, right? I think we had a lot of third-party figures being announced this weekend.
I mean, we got the Mezco drops.
Right. I unfortunately missed out on those.
I'm getting Uwulu Woodzaboomo Boom. I forget his name. It's something crazy.
I really wanted that Black Void Cadet Gomez. I joined the wait list on that.
Yeah, so did I.
The other Krieg that was there, which I don't really know what's going on there. It looks like they're trying to repurpose this Krieg as a villain of sorts, which I'm confused because I thought this version of Gomez was a villainous version.
I'm not sure what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, this version of Krieg is, I think Krieg is like a lawful neutral in their universe. And there's infighting within the Kriegs, which makes it more confusing. So this is Ulumu Rook, and he is a corrupted Krieg that was doing something, because I don't remember the comic that came with the Void Cadet Gomez, and then became this guy, and essentially is now a villain.
Oh, he's still available too. Look at that.
Yeah, this is a pre-order, so it's one of the more generous pre-orders that they're doing, where it's probably going to be up for like a week or something before they pull it. So he's a galactic warlord, but this one, not unsurprisingly, sold out really fast because it's basically as close as you're going to get to Mezco doing Star Wars.
But they show him fighting Rook in the pictures, and I could have swore that the teaser showed Void Cadet Gomez fighting this version of Gomez. Am I bugging out there?
I'd have to look at the comic. I forget.
Oh, well, you can probably just check it on the Mezco website. Just look up the original Void Cadet Gomez, and it should be.
Oh, to see them fighting?
Yeah, the I really love these Gomez figures. I don't know what it is for me, but they always just come with cool outfits, cool accessories. Never thought I'd be investing in a roach, but it's awesome. Yeah, maybe it's in the comic because I don't see the promo shot anymore. Yeah, they took it down if it's not there. Or was it a teaser, right? It was a teaser photo that they released?
Maybe.
Man, that looks so cool. Look at that.
Yeah, and then, but like, I feel like he's not necessarily. I feel like he's not a good guy. He's not a good guy either, though, because he has the red zip saber and shit. On the bright side, missing out on this figure means that you're just missing out on, an alternate coloration of everything that came with Void Cadet Gomez. Because it's literally the same figure otherwise, just different colors.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was pretty upset about the White Skull agent being a limited drop because they teed that up to be like Gomez's main antagonist.
Well, you made your own, and honestly, that was such a nonsensical. That was such a nonsense thing to have in such a limited capacity, because it's literally just a dude with a skull head.
Yeah,
like, that's the easiest kit bash to make.
Yeah,
if you're not lazy.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like if I remember right, this Void Cadet Gomez was teed up to be the antagonist to the other Void Cadet Gomez.
That's okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a little salty that I missed it. I'm trying to scroll back on their feed to see if we could find that teaser shot that they put up.
You looked on
no, maybe it wasn't. Okay, I see okay. I think I'm wrong here. Okay. So I'm looking at September 21st, Mezco. They do have a picture, and I can share that if you guys want.
Let me know you're ready. You ready?
Yeah. Cool. So this is the promo photo that I was talking about. I could have I mixed up in my head the original promo shot because the one I'm thinking of is this, but I could have swore this was the Black Void.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
But these are pretty gnarly shots. I like these.
Yeah. They've gotten a lot better with their production pictures too, because they used to be really bad. Like, I used to question whether or not I wanted a figure, and then in the end I would go for it, and I would be so much more satisfied with the figure in hand than from their promotional pictures, because their promotional pictures, not their Instagram account, but just like the general pictures that they would have, just look so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I almost forgot that this oh shoot. Did I miss this? They already announced Casey Jones. Come on, man. My pocket can't take no more. Could you imagine a Mezco shredder?
Your pocket doesn't have to take no more. It's going to lose mo.
Right.
Actually, going back to when we were jumping the gun about price hikes, if Hasbro really is going to keep jacking up the prices and everything like that, Mezco's already doing G.I. Joes. Like,
right. Well, I heard that part of the complaint for Roadblock that he was a little short.
Fuck that.
If you compare him to the Hasbro one's taller.
I don't care enough to compare him. The Roadblock figure is like perfect.
But that's the thing. Then you got like tall Robin, the Damian Wayne Robin that just came out.
But that's not G.I. Joe, so
which infuriates me. His big ass head. And look at these photographers, man. Good job, guys. So we're planning on doing like a collector spotlight, or more of a community spotlight, which will highlight collectors, creators, and photographers. And we're planning on implementing more appreciation for the people that do awesome work like that. Wow, is this a cosplayer? Wow, that's incredible.
A 12-year-old cosplayer.
Oh, look at this. Well, you know this is Photoshop because there's a stand somewhere there.
Still, it looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it when people are crafty and they try to maneuver like a hand.
I know that you were saying you showed me some of the stuff from one before where it's nothing but practical effects.
Yeah.
The one that really stands out in my mind is where it's Green Lantern and they just put this giant green fist in the background of where he's punching to kind of capture the idea of that. I was like, that's such a cool way to do that.
Yeah, that was a cool way. One of my favorite photos was I can't remember who took the picture, but it was not Daredevil. It was Deadpool and Wolverine fighting, but it looked like they had just jumped out of a window and the glass was like all around them as they're fighting in midair.
Okay, yeah.
Really cool shot. And I think the person that took that photo showed you how they did it. And it was basically the two figures laying flat on the ground on a city-like backdrop with a wall standing vertical, and then a piece of glass with shards of plastic over it to make it look as the glass was layered over top and on the bottom as well. So that was really cool using depth.
I love seeing some of the behind the scenes that people do on Instagram, just to show how they do all their lighting setup, and then they just all this work that they go through. Yeah, like that right there is just a really quick example of it. How they're kicking up all that dust, or that's not what I thought it was. Never mind.
Yeah, they're probably using the new Alonzi smoke machine.
I thought it was someone setting up, like going through their whole setup for the backdrop of like how they had the smoke come in and everything, and then they time the shot with the lighting and everything.
Well, it's funny that you said that because Zurin, I can't remember how to pronounce that. It's a Batman type name, but he shows a lot of behind the scenes of his stuff. And lately, he's been doing this Sailor Moon, Ronin Warriors collaboration that I have been a huge fan of. But he does his behind the scenes shots as well. Let me see if I could try to find one here. Super quick.
Yeah. I was about to say, click that.
Yeah, how cool is this?
Can you get rid of that chat window?
What chat window?
The chat window that's covering the entire video. Or wait, never mind. I didn't realize it was a wide video. Sorry.
No, that's cool. Then he's showing you the settings, how the picture came out. Very cool stuff. And I love his reuse of the jackal. But he did this for every figure in the series. Just cool shit, man. You could probably see my appreciation in like a couple of the comments. I think if I go back here.
Yeah, there you are. This is way too cool.
Way too cool. Yeah. Then where was the other one? And then he did one that I didn't expect, and this is like Sailor Moon and Ryu in their power-up versions. So excited for it. With the bonus drop. So cool. I wonder where he got this art though, because that looks like Mr. Jones. Oh, it is Mr. Jones. Ha. Very cool stuff, man. Mr. Jones is somebody else too, man. He does a lot of his own artwork based on, you know, the characters that we grew up with. Very cool stuff. You could definitely tell like his own art style.
Look at Godzilla there.
Oh, how cool is this? To show the sketch like that. Is that the turtle blimp in the back? Yeah, it is. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's in front of the Channel 6 building.
Very cool. He does this cool little mashup right here. Power Rangers and Sonic.
Was that one? Go back real quick?
Go back.
Yeah, the one above it. Yeah, he has Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles there. That's the animated Ghostbusters too. Dan would lose his shit over that.
Wait, this was a real episode?
They did like a comic or something of it. I don't think that it was a real episode.
Okay.
I don't know. Honestly, Dan would have to be the one that let me know. So next week, we are having our first guest on. It's going to be Dan.
Oh, if you want to share his page real quick, let me get out of here. I'm sorry.
I'm not signing on Instagram.
Oh, okay. Well, give me his credentials. I'll look it up.
His credentials.
His Instagram.
I think it's just Dan Law 83.
Is it Dan what?
Dan Law.
Dan Law.
83. Yeah, DANLAW 83.
83. Here we go. We'll share his page in a second. And we're looking at Instagram. Bam. So here's Dan. Dan's our friend of the channel.
Yes.
He will be our first guest. He is an avid Ghostbusters fan and wrestling fan. And I believe he streams on Twitch often.
Yep. Less often, but he still does stream on Twitch. But yeah, we'll be talking to Dan next week, inevitably about Ghostbusters. And maybe his puppies will make an appearance.
Very cool.
I've been supposed to hang out with him for a while now, but it just hasn't happened because I've been sick. Like waiting, he has Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, and apparently Part 2 is not going to be called Dead Reckoning. It's just going to be Mission Impossible next title. Like there's going to be no Dead Reckoning Part 2 apparently.
Okay.
Which sounds really stupid, but I don't know. I was
Why?
supposed to watch that.
Do you know
I
the
don't
name of
know.
the Rambo movies in order?
Yeah, it's like I don't know what the hell the whole idea is, and maybe like after this next one, maybe the 10th one will be Dead Reckoning Part 2. Maybe
Right.
it's gonna be 8 is Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then they'll have another one, and then Dead Reckoning Part 2. I don't know. I don't know what the hell the decision is behind that. That's pretty dumb. But yeah, it's funny that you mentioned vehicles earlier because I was kind of thinking that same thing. Like vehicles are really coming into the forefront in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
McFarlane's been doing all these little standalone like motorcycles and stuff like that, and that's been pretty successful, I think, even though they are at their own scale. But for Hasbro, Mezco, Valaverse,
Right. Hopefully Mattel does a new wrecking. I like their vehicles.
I feel like they will. I think that their vehicles are pretty popular, and yeah, they're really good fodder vehicles. Like I think I don't have the car, but I have the Slambulance. I have their stupid little ATV that I got at like a Ross for $11.
Yeah.
Then I have the tow truck.
I should get some of those ATVs.
Yeah, it's not bad. I haven't even opened it yet. But...
Oh wow, they're only $20 on Amazon.
This was $10.
Yeah, those would be awesome, like G.I. Joe vehicles or like villain vehicles being chased in like a scene or something.
Yeah, it's just fodder.
Yeah.
Just a quick vehicle for the background. Nothing special.
Yeah. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to be working on our Dr. Doom comparison video. So stay tuned for that. Movie-wise, have we been watching Echo? Have we been watching...
I watched the first 3 episodes of Echo.
Yeah.
I am pissed because I watched all of Reacher and all of season 2 of Reacher, except for the first. Like I caught up on Reacher in a day, and I was like, I have to wait for the last episode, so that's cool. Second season's really good. What you look?
I haven't finished Reacher yet, so no spoilers, please.
No. There's still an episode left, so it's not over yet. So you're good. Actually, Invincible should be coming back on soon.
More like Invisible, am I right? Because he's been gone for a couple months. I think Umbrella Academy is supposed to come back this year.
Never watched it.
I'll be honest, man. I lost. The first season was great. The second season was like, okay. The third season was like, okay. And now the fourth season is coming out, I'm just like, all right. Just not as good as it was the first time around.
First 3 episodes of Echo, I'm enjoying so far. Have you watched any of it?
I've watched the first 3 episodes as well.
Okay. There are some things they're doing that I really don't like at all.
Okay.
Like the whole lineage thing where like they got the spiral hands. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
They hinted at in the episode that I saw. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. That's kind of because she's
supposed to have like Deathstroke powers, right?
Because she's Native American, there's some kind of special mysticism that goes with it. Is that what the whole fucking idea is? Because she's related to the first Choctaw people that walked on the earth. She's special. Like That's
But originally she's supposed to have, I'm sorry, I said Deathstroke. She's supposed to have like Taskmaster abilities, right? Like she can mimic what
I
she
really
sees.
don't know much about her in all honesty. I wanted to Google it, but I was like, no, I'll probably find spoilers. And I don't really want any spoilers because I like aside from that complaint, I do enjoy the show. Um when an episode I thought episode 1 was pretty great. They're like I'm really curious when I finish the show, I'll probably look and see what people hated about it or didn't like about it. But I kind of like the whole idea of her starting shit and then it following her back home. I feel like that was kind of a nice take on it rather than just do another series set in New York.
I get it, but at the same token, I would have preferred if she wasn't being told every episode, like, hey, don't do this. You're going to put your loved ones at risk. And her just being like, no, fuck you. I'm going to do it anyway. Right? Fuck you.
Well, she
I'm going to
doesn't.
do it anyway.
I don't know if that's worse or I'm not going to respond to
But then
that.
it does follow her back home. And it's like, oh, you're sad that. Can we talk about, you know what? We're talking about spoilers. Fuck it. Can we talk about how her sister and her, the skating rink owner got caught up with Kingpin's gang? And it's like, you're shocked. Like, you've been warned about this every episode. Like, if you really cared about these people, you wouldn't have done that shit, or you would have done it somewhere else. Like, go fuck with somebody else. You're
Yeah.
literally bringing problems to, and I can't wait. I know it's going to happen. One of her loved ones is going to die. It's probably going to be her grandma. Let's be honest. And then it's going to be like, oh my God, this is going to fuel me to the end of the season. And then it's like,
Well, the end of the season's only 2 episodes away.
right. Oh, it's a 5-episode run? I thought it was 6 episodes.
I thought it was 9. It's only 5 apparently.
Okay.
Which is fine because I also don't need a season to go on forever. Like, so it's fine at 5. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do with it. Like, she's kind of an anti-hero, I guess. She's not really a good guy or a bad guy. And I also have no issue with that. What I don't like, what?
She's not really a guy in general.
Her character. Fine. But I do take issue with Sony making like Kraven an anti-hero or Venom an anti-hero or
with
Morbius.
No accent. You're gonna make a Kraven movie with no accent.
And like, I was playing a game with Dan. I was playing Fortnite yesterday with Dan, and like he just learned about Madam Web, and like he's excited about it because like he likes all the shit. Dan's really accepting and likes so much stuff, and like he just is. Dan allows himself to have fun with things in ways that other like you and I were just like, no, fuck that, that's stupid. Dan's just like, why? It's fine.
Right.
It's fine. Just let it be. It's fun.
No, we cannot have these things.
Yeah, we're like that. Dan's like, no, there's nothing wrong with that. That's funny. That's enjoyable. We're like, but Dan's excited about that, and I was just like, why? It's just another fucking movie. It's another Spider-Verse movie that Sony's gonna fuck up. Like, I don't think anything good's gonna come out of Madam Web. I really wish Sony would just stop making fucking movies and give the license over to Marvel so that we could get some better shit out of them. But
right,
it's like Venom is gonna get a 3rd movie, and I'm like, stop fucking watching their bullshit. Because Venom 1 was one of the worst movies I've seen, and I didn't even bother watching Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. I didn't fucking bother with it because I know it's going to be another one of the worst movies I've seen. I didn't bother Morbius because fuck Jared Leto, and it's going to be one of the worst movies I've seen. And then the same with Kraven. It's going to suck because it's supposed to be just a movie about a villain. And I understand that that's a problematic movie to put out because it's a villain. Like, he's supposed to be a bad guy. And we really need to stop having all these lukewarm bad guys where people can come around to their form of understanding and just have bad guys again. Because I understand that having complex villains is good and everything like that, but they're evil. and they need to be objectively evil. They might share some commonalities with us, but like they're supposed to be objectively a bad character that we don't like because they want to kill everybody, or even because they want to kill half of everybody. Now, if they had spent some more time in Avengers, because so many people were like saying like Thanos is right and stuff, and like maybe if they had spent more time in analyzing the idea that just because you kill half of everything doesn't mean that suddenly half of everything is not essentially the same as this. Like you're reducing everything by half. So if you have 20 people and 20 sources of food, and now you have 10 people and 10 sources of food, you're not changing a fucking thing. Thanos's concept is clear cutting a forest rather than going through and actively selectively fixing problems. His idea is just start over, and you just get the same problems when you do that. And they need to spend more time making that understood in movies so that people don't find themselves just sympathizing with the villain because it sounds like a good idea. Like, no, real problems are more complex to fix, and we need villains who are just more obviously taking quick solutions or just doing evil things.
Right.
And that's
I was thinking specifically like Zod when he came in for the Superman movie. Thinking about Heath Ledger's Joker, he just did shit just to do shit. There was no real motive. And even Michael Caine pointed out in the movie, he was like, some people just want to watch the world burn.
Right. But The Dark Knight also has a lot of stupid writing problems, like where there's two guys with the two boats and the guys with the things, like the boat captains each have the detonators. You wouldn't open that in the general area of the ship. You'd open that up in the cabin, and you would not let them know about it, and you would just keep it fucking locked up or secure or something so that nobody knew about it, because one of those ships would have blown up in the real world.
I think he's trying to talk about the humanity of it all. And I guess they could have used a better way to.
He is, and I understand that, but the way he did it was the stupidest way of doing that.
It can't be as dumb as like fighting Superman and being like, Martha, why'd you say that name? God damn it.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that that's a better way of doing it.
Or Jesse Eisenberg in general. Fucking Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, Dan. Jesse Eisenberg fucking sucked in that movie.
Hey, now you see me, now you don't.
And in general, Eisenberg just isn't great. The Facebook movie's fucking stupid.
I thought it was okay.
I saw it once, and I don't really remember any of it because I'm just like, the best thing that came out of that is a Letterkenny reference when they're making Fart Book. And Devin says, if you wish to stand on our backs and call yourselves tall, you may do so. But whatever. He's just like, he pulls a total Eisenberg in that, and he's just making fun of Eisenberg in so many great ways when they're making a website that's basically social media for farts. Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it. I like farts.
Farts are for friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, like only Deadpool is coming out this year, it seems. Although, isn't Daredevil Born Again supposed to come out this year?
Yeah, but we're also getting like X-Men 97. We're getting some other TV shows, right? A lot of Star Wars stuff.
Are they re-releasing X-Men 97?
It's more like a continuation of the X-Men 97 TV series.
Oh, okay.
But apparently it's going to have implications that tie in with the greater MCU.
Of course it will. The shows need to go away.
Huh?
The shows need to go away.
If that was the case, we would have never gotten Daredevil or Punisher.
No, that's different. That was separate Netflix licensing.
Jessica Jones.
That was
all that's canon now.
What?
They recently announced that all that stuff is canon.
I thought that was a different reality, though.
It's not, because in Echo they referenced the Daredevil show.
Well, they have him in it in his red suit,
right? But they showed flashbacks from specific scenes of the Netflix show, so it's canon. It's done.
Do they?
Yeah. They showed the 3-way fight with Bullseye, right?
No.
Yeah. The beginning of Echo, the first episode of Echo.
What are you talking about? That's not in that at all.
I will bring my Disney Plus up account and I will share screen and I will force you to watch it on air.
I think we'll get in trouble for that. But it didn't happen.
It did happen.
Look.
Go watch it right now. Get off. Go watch it right now.
It didn't happen.
It did happen.
I was gonna be, is this the podcast that breaks it? I don't remember that happening at all, though, honestly. I know they do a lot of flashback stuff to Hawkeye.
Yes, they did that too. They showed Hawkeye talking to and his Ronin character, right? From the Hawkeye.
Yeah, yeah.
But to get to that point, they referenced Daredevil.
I don't think they do at all.
God damn it. I'm doing it. Disney Plus. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do it because we'll probably get this thing flagged.
Oh, we would absolutely get flagged. The mouse would be like, ha, I saw your stream, guys. Ha. I'm like, thank you.
It's not their mouse anymore. It's everybody's mouse.
Yeah, that's right.
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
So what else we got? Any news?
Ghostbusters goes. I cannot speak. I'm all. Ghostbusters comes out this year, and then the new Godzilla movie comes out this year, and that's going to be a doozy, unless they manage to fix things. But
Deadpool 3 is going to be the most interesting movie with the most interesting freaking toy line ever because the cameos that I'm hearing that are coming in this movie are wild.
And that's also kind of what I was failing to talk about before is I'm curious to see if this it really depends what that movie does. Are they going to bring back people from like the original X-Men movies? Like is Famke Janssen coming back? Because does that mean we're going to get a new figure of her? I don't think that she'd be coming back to reprise her role entirely. It would be more of just like a cameo thing for this episode, or just like the World Collision.
You don't follow the leaks or rumors or anything.
No, I avoid them.
Okay.
I avoid them.
All right. So how do we talk about this without? Well, we don't know if it's true yet because the movie's not out. So
we don't talk about it then.
May I have your permission to bring it up, sir?
We don't talk about it.
Well, Scarlet Witch is supposed to be in the movie fighting Famke Janssen's character. Whatever.
I heard that they were talking about doing some different things with Scarlet Witch in general because like so many people reacted positively to that concept art of her where the mask is like embedded into her face. But that's also another curious thing. Did you not see that concept art?
I did not see that concept art.
What the fuck are you on, dude?
What are you on? You know you're watching.
You not do all this leaking stuff? Like,
you're leak. You know
Scarlet.
Anyway, I got a bad feeling about this Dr. Doom. He's primarily die-cast from what I understand. The accessories look phenomenal. Let me just say that. But the Marvel Legends, I have a feeling it's going to be better. We'll see. Got a feeling. Going to be better. Feeling.
You did not see this picture at all?
Oh my God. A Multiverse of Madness concept art with Wanda's crown infused with her skin. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. So based on that, and then Snyderverse, the Snyder Cut being brought into existence by basically fans eventually crying out for it. How much of an impact do you think fans have on things being released and shit like that?
It's a really good question
You know,
because I think Sonic proved that fans have a big impact
Sonic
on it.
is a great example of that.
Yeah. Like, we're not
Yeah,
going to watch your fucking movie because your Sonic has teeth, you son
yeah.
of a bitch.
Well, it wasn't just the teeth. There was so much wrong about that Sonic.
The weird hair, the eye. Oh my God.
There was so much wrong with
And look
that.
how great that movie did after they fixed it.
I didn't watch it.
The second one was kind of a schlock, but it was still like decent. I think
What is up with Idris Elba taking on all these shitty movie roles? Idris Elba's too cool to voice fucking Knuckles.
Knuckles. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing, guy? Come
Come
on,
on, guy.
come on, guy.
Come on, guy.
I'm kind of bummed that Jim Carrey, and this was a while ago. I'm kind of bummed that he won't be in any more movies because Jim Carrey was fun
Maybe.
at times. He
We'll
could
see.
be fun. Like,
I don't think he's done.
no,
Nah. I think the right role will come, like another like introspective Andy Kaufman-esque Man on the Moon type role, and he'll be like, okay.
one more role for people to remember why they hate me.
Nobody hates him. I think he was just fed up with it was after the
No.
Will Smith slap thing.
People hated him in that because he went method on that movie. On Man on the Moon, he was method acting on that, and he literally like became Andy Kaufman, and people fucking hated Andy Kaufman. So yeah, like he made. I don't want to get into it because it has other different things, but like when Dave Chappelle met Jim Carrey, it was
Yeah, I
during
saw that. Yeah.
and like
It's like, no, call him Andy.
like that's just stupid. I mean, I love what's his face? The guy from Gangs in New York, and Daniel Day-Lewis is a great actor, but I feel torn on the whole idea of method acting because if you have to fully become somebody else, are you really acting?
My question is Gary Oldman a method actor? Because that guy to me is my idol. That guy is I'm awesome. Huh?
So I don't really like Jimmy Kimmel, but have you ever seen Stranger Wrestling?
Stranger Wrestling, no.
Gary Oldman goes out and wrestles strangers. It's all staged, but it's still really funny. But no, Gary Oldman's a great actor, but like, does he go full method or does like he snap in and snap out?
Well, that's what I'm asking, because if you do like what was the True Romance where he plays the pimp, then you got like The Fifth Element, and then you got The Professional Leon.
Yep.
Those are three very different roles, man. Just bonkers. And then he was like in Harry Potter. Then he's Detective Gordon.
He's he's Winston Churchill.
Fantastic,
in Darkest Hour. Like he really is an amazing actor. He's so good. He's also in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And he's really like he's a lot of fun to watch. But like, does he go in and then he does his thing in that role, or does like he have to really struggle and then fully envelop himself into that role? Like, there's a difference. And I'm not talking about someone who inevitably does what Chris Pratt does, where he just shows up. He's like, I'm voicing Garfield. Okay, hey, I'm Garfield. Like. There's more complexity.
Well, the Mario movie was not bad. I mean, I know we had some reservations about it.
There were a few parts that I laughed, but I think that I'm tired of Chris Pratt. And well, there's this really good bit I saw on Instagram where these two guys were talking about making a movie, and they had the voice actor there, and they were like, make it like more a little Midwestern, and then make it sound like in your personal time, like you're really into Jesus, like really into Jesus. And then there's like, you know what? Make it, yeah. I more Chris Pratt, and like the guy's just like, that's what you're doing, like, and he's actually doing like a character. and it's this unique thing, and then they're like, no, just throw that out. We'll just get Chris Pratt. Like, fucking, so dumb. Like
Well,
everything.
I don't think we talked about it too much, but what do you think about the Jonathan Majors situation? Now that he released the Good Morning America interview.
Did you watch the interview?
I did watch the interview, yeah.
Okay. I didn't. I mean, it's the decision's been made, so I don't really see any point in myself getting. I mean, I'm watching Loki. I forgot I did start Loki, and I'm just like, fuck, I do miss this guy because he's a great actor.
Yeah, fantastic.
But he's also kind of a psychopath.
I don't think he's a psychopath. I think he's a narcissist, definitely. But I don't think he's an abuser either.
That's also what's weird. And then I saw something else where they kind of threw like they half jokingly say that like he allowed himself to become a victim and an abusive person at the same time. It is
I
a
definitely
little
think
weird.
there's some probably gaslighting in there, like pissing her off by saying certain things. And
yeah. And I mean, it's one thing to be Christian Bale, but and when you're Christian Bale, and
are you referring to the Terminator thing? Like,
yeah. it's
a
one
random segue.
it's one thing to be like a hard person to be around who's just because like you're demanding, and I don't know, it's weird. On the other hand, like half of that audio that leaked that shouldn't have had any impact on any fucking thing.
Right.
Half that audio with him, like in a way, I get what he's saying because yeah, the paparazzi's out for anything that they could get their fucking teeth into. Exactly. On the other hand, like you're really not doing anything crazy, dude. You're an actor. Like calm the fuck down a little bit.
I get what he was saying. I think he was trying to say, like, he's an example for the Black community, and I could definitely see that, especially taking on such a prominent role, doing certain aspects of it. I don't know what his philanthropy life is like, but.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, he might be definitely full of himself, but I don't know, man. To me, you have to go what the evidence shows, right? And we don't have anything of it inside the car. We do have pictures of like her ear scratched, her finger bent, and I'm sure he probably like get your fucking hands off my phone. But he also had scratches on his face, scratches on his arm,
right? And
which they didn't admit in court. Like, I don't understand how that's possible.
He was through being an asshole in one way or another. He essentially also got hung out to dry.
Yeah,
and made out to be an even bigger asshole than he might actually be.
Made out to be, yeah. He's not.
Yeah.
He got made out to be.
Like everyone wants to. A lot of people are just probably going to label him immediately as an abusive, violent person, and like that's not exactly what the case shows.
Right. If you look at what the charges was, it was like accidental assault. So when he was pushing her back in the vehicle, her head hit the back of it, and that was the assault portion of it.
Right. It's not like he was found guilty of just
intentional.
Like,
right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Such an awkward situation.
It is, and it sucks. And hopefully, they just stay the fuck away from each other and learn from it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he's dating Megan Good now.
I mean, let's see. I don't know. People are weird, and it's a whole different circle of like everything. But like, if he were really such a piece of shit, would he be able to just go and turn around and get a girlfriend like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or is Megan Good just kind of a dork? I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I am bummed because I really do like the work I've seen him do. Like he's good, and he's such a different person as Victor Timely. He was awesome in Quantumania, and then The Harder They Fall was great. I haven't watched Lovecraft Country, but I've only heard good things about that.
Well, the rumor is that Coleman Domingo will be stepping into his role. as a.
Who's Coleman Domingo?
He is an actor known for Fear the Walking Dead, and most recently, The Color Purple.
The musical Color Purple? Because that's what it was. It was a musical.
Was it a musical?
Yeah. You said Domingo Coleman?
Oh yeah, yep.
Okay, yeah. This is not at all who I thought it was. Okay. Wait, what?
I think it's a good idea to bring in. I think they should close the Kang character out.
No, fuck that. I want more Kang. God damn it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, close it out properly. I'm not saying leave it behind in the dust, right? Because a lot of people are saying, like, fuck it, move on. The Kang storyline was stupid. I think Kang's a fucking fantastic character.
People don't know anything about Kang for them to jump on that bandwagon. He got killed by ants. Yeah, he didn't get killed, but he got taken out by ants. Yeah, he got taken out by 50 fucking ants the size of fucking Rottweilers. Like, no, you don't know anything about Kang. And the fact that they have, and I haven't finished season 2 of Loki, but the fact that in season 1 had Alioth, Ravonna already plotting her reign, because that's what Ravonna was fucking doing, is she wants to take over. And there's arcs in the fucking Marvel comics where she basically subdues Kang and takes over his empire. And then there's the Kingdom Come, and there's whole fucking worthy arcs with Kang, and just so many things that they could really do, and it would be awesome. But people need to get the fuck over the fact that they don't immediately see the worst the bad guy has to offer the first time they fucking see him. Do you really want him to be all powerful immediately?
I think people are underselling it. This man was trapped in a realm that he had no power in, and was able to amass an army and technology there, and almost getting himself out. And now he's not. I don't think he's dead. I think he's in that probability realm. And if they all band together with the singularity of revenge of some sort or conquer, then he'll get out.
Well, I think that's what we were talking about, because when Scott Lang was stuck in there, he had to focus, and otherwise he kept replicating into all these different concepts. And then when he does get out of that, it's going to be because he had all that time to meditate and really hone his thoughts into one intent purpose, and that is to be the only Kang. So, like, we have all these other Kangs, and they get imprisoned, and there's so much stuff that goes on in that whole arc of Avengers that I know of, and it's crazy. And yeah, like you're saying, this is what Kang was able to do with spare parts,
right?
And also, if people are so bummed out by a villain because the first time they see him, he gets defeated, like, do you really just want everything to be Thanos over and over again? Do you really want them to just be this large, imposing thing and not something that you think gets quashed? Meanwhile, you have all these other plots going on, like the Judges with Eternals and shit going on, all this other extra universal stuff that happens. You really just want one thing going on at a time. They just want a linear focus of one villain. But realistically, after Endgame, the universe is only expanded so much more than we realize. With Arsh and the Judge coming in, we have Blade and all the other shit that's going to bring in, because it's going to open a lot more. We have the multiverse, and that's really what it ends up being, is all this multiverse stuff coming in, and X-Men and their villains, Fantastic Four coming in with Galactus and Silver Surfer. There's so much more that they can do, and that's even outside of Kang being a focal point. So the whole Jonathan Majors thing is unfortunate, but if they have another person to replace him as Kang, focus on other stuff while you do rewriting and everything like that. Don't rush out the Kang story, because there's so much other material that they have to mess with. And that's just looking at grand scheme things, because then you have Wilson Fisk being this street level Thanos, and that's what he should be. And hopefully that becomes more present in things like the next Spider-Man movie, where he's more of a street level operative hero. He's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, being that nobody knows who he is. And I think that we do need more street level things, and that's where Echo is kind of nice to see. and Daredevil, because I mean they eventually have like Defenders and Marvel Knights and shit like that, and it's cool to have these little team ups that come about. But like, not everything has to be this intergalactic world saving thing. It's nice when we have street level vigilantes just doing their thing. Oof.
I think I mentioned this like 3 or 4 podcasts ago. I would love to see a Kang fight scene that is reminiscent of Noob Saibot in Mortal Kombat, where he's going to hit somebody, but other Kangs come out of like different locations to do the same move at the same time, and then just kind of fall back and some wild shit like that.
Kind of like Rick and Morty when they're fighting the time cop.
I don't remember.
And where they're it's Keegan Michael Key does the voice of the cop with like the slug gun.
Yes.
And
Okay.
Kind of like that.
Exactly like that. That'd be so sick.
There's a lot of cool things that they could do, and I wish that they would play around with it more. And actually, it'll be interesting when Dan comes on if we start talking about nerdy stuff tangential, because something else that does come up when Dan's streaming is like, and I'm playing with, or like when we're playing online, is like Martin Scorsese shitting on Marvel movies and people saying that people have superhero fatigue. Like, no, you don't really have superhero fatigue. You're just tired of the same movie being done over and over. And I get that. That's fine. Like, you're tired of
bad writing fatigue.
Yeah, you're tired of things just being the same, and that's totally fine. But like, I guarantee you, you wouldn't have an issue if they put out like a Wolverine movie and it's, well, like look at Logan. Logan was a great movie. And are you okay?
Am I okay?
Yeah, you like zoned out for a second. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just bringing up some stuff to share. That's all.
Gotcha. It's just weird. And then not every Marvel movie has to be this 2.5 hour adventure thing. Like,
yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I remember early on when we were in phase 1, you and I were like, man, bring the extended cuts out. And now the extended cuts are here. We're like, okay, maybe not. Don't do that.
Well,
please.
it's
not compelling enough. Like, you're not.
But they're also not being made with the same quality that like the first phase movies were. To be fair, I mean, but also like I don't want to see an extended cut of Thor.
Right. I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
As much as I like the Hulk where it's going now, that first Hulk movie was kind of a slog, man.
Eric Bana or
no, Edward Norton.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I really. So I like the She-Hulk show, but I really would like to see Abomination back in his element. And then, despite liking She-Hulk, I would like to see Marvel stop making everything a fucking joke. I will say that. That said, Daredevil 3 or Deadpool 3 is just going to be a giant comedy movie.
Yeah, more than likely. But I think it'll be good.
It'll be good. I think it'll be good. It depends on what you thought of the second one, because I have a friend who hates the second one because, understandably, like the child, because I also hate children in movies. But his complaints about Juggernaut are valid. They turned Juggernaut from this cool, like destructive villain into this giant moron.
Yeah.
In the movie, and then they kill off the X-Force.
Yeah. Well, I think part of that is like the writers at Fox not having a structure. When he joins the MCU, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the Juggernaut again in a more accurate role.
Hopefully, because I do love me some Juggernaut. I love me some Jugs.
I knew that was coming. God, I was just about to say it.
You ready to share? You ready for me to share this?
Yeah, I'm ready to share. So as you guys know, Matt and I have been collaborating on a driving arcade. We are in the final stages. We have actually today finished what would be our final prototype. Well, I wouldn't say final prototype, but prototype that looks like it could be the final version. What we have here is the let's see if I can get rid of some of this stuff. I'm worried to click it because the file is so big and sometimes it disappears the okay, cool. So basically this plate right here allows it to slide in this base back and forth. So not only do you have the base that is not fixed in the platform to slide back and forth, but also if you need the figure to be closer or further, you can use the seat as well to make it look more normal. And there's about a little under half an inch of give to go back and forth on this. Pretty cool. I project that we will start printing the prototype within the next week or 2 weeks, and then being able to put that together to take a final look at it. After that, it's on to designing the decals for the sides and then putting in a final prototype look. The one thing that I'm worried about is the steering wheel is straight out. That is by design to hopefully hold it in place better. If it's at an angle, then it's going to slide in. And if it's at an angle pointing down, it's going to slide out. So to avoid those issues, because we do want an adjustable steering wheel, the easiest way is to make it straight. But to counterbalance the awkwardness of it coming straight out is to raise the height of the chair appropriately so that way our characters don't look like it's hitting the chest all the time. So finding that happy medium in the height of the chair is very important in the situation. Other than that, man, I think we got a pretty cool product on our hands that's coming out soon, and it's going to be familiar but different enough for our returning customers. And then I think at least the plans for me as far as designs go will probably be a pinball machine next, and then we are moving on to well, I'd like to move on to more diorama stuff. I've been really admiring the original Muppets Palisades playsets and trying to figure out how to bring a cheaper alternative but quality product to the line that is versatile and can also stand by itself. So I'm thinking about designing a wall that could just stand next to your foam-based diorama or as a background piece somewhere to kind of move around like the NECA ones, but also be plugged in and ported into a base that has like a floor space or some of our props in there that you could build up. Ultimately, we've said this plenty of times, Shadow Moses' intent is to become your one-stop shop for everything. So we'll have the dioramas, we'll have the props, we'll have head sculpts to do for your figures, custom parts where if you wanted to be a modder for some of these figures, you could do that. We currently do the arcades, and then expanding on that level to include everything.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that, being that I felt like absolute trash this past week, I actually do have an idea for a diorama that I want to start working on. I'm going to be going to my storage unit tomorrow to pick up some of my things, Storm Collectibles, mostly because I've been replaying Gears of War, and I'm finally on 5 after I took a detour with Judgment, which was a really dumb game. Alex, you're a liar. It's a stupid game. But I'm finishing up Gears of War 5 on insane difficulty because for some reason I never got the achievement, and I feel like I'm a phony at life if I don't get that.
You're a phony.
I'll probably do Inconceivable next because this one's just easier than the other ones.
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Inconceivable? I think that no, seriously, like I've beaten all the other ones on insane, and then they introduce inconceivable difficulty in Gears 4, but Gears 4 on insane is the hardest one. And then on inconceivable difficulty, it's easier because while you die in like 5 shots, your enemy dies in 15 rather than 40, like on insane difficulty. It's and like there's these big enemies that carry it that they open up their chest and they launch shit in the air and then it comes down and fucks your life up. But in inconceivable difficulty, you literally could just run up, slap a grenade on that chest, and then it stuns it. And then when it goes to do it again, you slap another grenade on, and it's dead. And insane difficulty, it takes like 12 grenades or some shit because it's just everything's a bullet sponge. Yeah. So, yeah, I know. Oh my god. I know you fucking care. But yeah, gonna grab some things out of my storage unit, drop a good amount of other shit off, and then get back to working on some diorama ideas that I have as well. And
2024 is going to be an interesting year for Shadow Moses, definitely.
I think it will be. We got some new equipment in that really helps just make things more quick. And then I'm pretty sure that Orange Storm Giga is going to be a game changer in terms of just print volume and what we can do. Because like something else that I've been kind of messing with is going back to a car that I was messing around with before, and then scaling it down and looking at the seat and positioning and everything in it. And I can't print out parts of the chassis because it's bigger than the print bed. So yeah, I think that this is going to be a good year for us and the products that we're producing and coming up with. So I'm really excited about what this year holds for us. And hopefully you guys get to enjoy along that road. Follow us on Instagram, Shadow Moses 112. I'm on Instagram as Ryu Bello. You don't really have to follow me because I mostly do not anything on there. I look at cat videos.
But you also post a lot of the stuff you're working on, like 3D printer stuff.
Yeah, I'll post stupid little videos about 3D printing on there. But Shadow Moses 112, Pete is really good about providing updates and then different products that we're shipping out, because I understand entirely that going to a website and looking through a collection is
Could be
kind of
slow.
tedious. Yeah, it takes a long time if there's a lot on there, and then you don't always get to the good visual that you want. But Pete's really good about posting pictures of outgoing orders to just kind of showcase what we do. Follow other collectors because it's not hard to follow somebody's page. And then we're out here Sundays at 8 p.m. Bogart, thanks for stopping in. I don't know if you're still there, but appreciate you joining the chat. Anything, Pete?
I was gonna say, man, you pretty much took all my lines.
I know. I was like, I'm gonna do it this week.
I have a script here that I read off of. If you want to hear more of our thoughts, tune in Sundays at 8 p.m. live on YouTube. Head towards shadowmoses112.com
Hey,
to
my talk.
your collection, or slide into our Instagram to see our current projects we're working on. And remember, I just added this line today: 2.5-inch figures are for kids. You guys have a good night. Thank you so much.
If you carry 2.5-inch figures, it's all right, but they're for kids. Goodbye.